Welcome back. We're going on part 4 for Sunday, June 26, 2022. It's the corner with the E-Dub. Check out the first 3 parts if you have not already. You already know what to do with the channel. If you appreciate it, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video part comes. Share the content. Do your part to help the kingdom of God, or the words of the kingdom of God, reach all 4 corners of the earth. Share the content. Like and comment if you want. But share it. Well, that's much more important. I read from the Common English Version of the Bible. We can find that as well as other translations, other Bible studies, other aids that may help you in the YouVersion app. It's found in the App Store or Google Play, depending on your device. That said, we're going to pick up with Exodus chapter 21. Exodus 21. These are the case laws that you should set before them. When you buy a male Hebrew slave, he will serve you for 6 years, but in the 7th year, he will go free without any payment. If he came in single, he will leave single. If he came in married, then his wife will leave with him. If his master gave him a wife and she bore him sons or daughters, then the wife and her children will belong to her master. He will leave single. However, if the slave clearly states, I love my master, my wife, and my children, and I don't want to go free, then his master will bring him before God. He will bring him to the door or the doorpost. Then his master will pierce his ear with a pointed tool, and he will serve him as his slave for life. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shouldn't be set free in the same way as male slaves are set free. If she doesn't please her master, who chose her for himself, then her master must let her be bought back by her family. He has no right to sell her to foreign people, since he has treated her unfairly. But if he assigns her to his son, he must give her the rights of a daughter. If he takes another woman for himself, he may not reduce her food, clothing, or marital rights. If he doesn't do these 3 things for her, she will go free without any payment for no money. Anyone who hits and kills someone should be put to death. If the killing wasn't on purpose but an accident allowed by God, then I would designate a place to which the killer can run away. But if someone plots and kills another person on purpose, you should remove the killer from my altar and put him to death. Anyone who violently hits their father or mother should be put to death. Anyone who kidnaps a person, whether they have been sold or are still being held, should be put to death. Anyone who curses their father or mother should be put to death. When 2 people are fighting and one hits the other with a stone or with his fist so that he is in bed for a while but doesn't die, if he recovers and is able to walk around outside with a cane, then the one who hit him shouldn't be punished except to pay for the loss of time from work and to pay for his full recovery. When a slave owner hits a male or female slave with a rod and the slave dies immediately, the owner should be punished. But if the slave gets up after a day or 2, the slave owner shouldn't be punished because the slave is the owner's property. When people who are fighting injure a pregnant woman so that she has a miscarriage but no other injury occurs, then a guilty party will be fined. What the woman's husband demands is negotiated with the judges. If there is a further injury, then you will give a life for a life, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a hand for a hand, a foot for a foot, a burn for a burn, a bruise for a bruise, a wound for a wound. When the slave owner hits and blinds the eye of a male or female slave, he shall let the slave go free on the account of the eye. If he knocks out a tooth of a male or female slave, he shall let the slave go free on the account of the tooth. When an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox should be stoned to death, and the meat of the ox shouldn't be eaten. But if the owner of the ox shouldn't be punished. However, if the ox have gored people in the past and its owner has been warned but didn't watch out for it, and the ox ends up killing a man or a woman, then the ox should be stoned to death, and its owner should be also put to death. If the owner has to pay compensation instead, he must pay the agreed amount to save his life. If the ox gores a boy or a girl, the same case law applies to the owner. If the ox gores a male or a female slave, the owner will pay 30 silver shekels to the slave's owner, and the ox will be stoned to death. When someone leaves a pit open or digs a pit and doesn't cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls into the pit, the owner of the pit must make good on the loss. He should pay money to the ox's owner, but he may keep the dead animal. When someone's ox hurts someone else's ox and it dies, they should sell the live ox and divide its price. They should also divide the dead animal between them. But if the ox was known for goring in the past and its owner hadn't watched out for it, then the owner must make good the loss. An ox for an ox, but may keep the dead animal. Exodus 21. Let's go to the next book in the chapter now, and that's Deuteronomy. Actually, Leviticus. Leviticus. And we're going to start with 19 in Leviticus. The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the whole community of the Israelites, you must be holy because I, the Lord your God, am holy. Each of you must respect your mother and father, and you must keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Do not turn to idols or make gods of cast metal for yourselves. I am the Lord your God. When you sacrifice a communal sacrifice of well-being to the Lord, offer it so that it will be accepted on your account. It must be eaten on the day of your sacrifice or on the following day. Whatever is left over on the third day must be burned with fire. If any of it is eaten on the third day, it is foul and will not be accepted. Anyone who eats will be liable to punishment because they defile what is holy to the Lord. The person will be cut off from their people. When you harvest your land's produce, you must not harvest all the way to the edge of your field, and don't gather up every remaining bit of your harvest. Also, do not pick your vineyard clean or gather up all grapes that have fallen there. Leave these items for the poor and the immigrants. I am the Lord your God. You must not steal nor deceive nor lie to each other. You must not swear falsely by my name, desecrating your God's name in doing so. I am the Lord. You must not oppress your neighbors or rob them. Do not withhold a hired laborer's pay overnight. You must not insult a deaf person or put some obstacle in front of a blind person that would cause them to trip. Instead, fear your Lord. I am the Lord. Or fear your God. I am the Lord. You must not act unjustly in a legal case. Do not show favoritism to the poor or deference to the great. You must judge your fellow Israelites fairly. Do not go around slandering your people. Do not stand by while your neighbor's blood is shed. I am the Lord. You must not hate your fellow Israelite in your heart. Rebuke your fellow Israelites strongly so that you don't become responsible for sin. You must not take revenge nor hold a grudge against any of your people. Instead, you must love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. You must keep my rules. Do not crossbreed your livestock. Do not plant your field with two kinds of seed. And do not wear clothes made from two kinds of material. If a man has sexual relations with a woman who is a slave engaged to another man who hasn't yet been released or given her freedom, there must be a punishment. But there will not be put to death because she has not yet been freed. The man must bring to his compensation to the Lord at the meeting's tent's entrance a ram for a compensation offering. The priest will use the ram for the compensation offering to make reconciliation for him before the Lord on account of the sin he committed. Then he will be forgiven of the sin that he committed. When you enter the land and plant any fruit tree, you must consider its fruit off limits. For 3 years it will be off limits to you, must not be eaten. In the 4th year, all the tree's fruit will be holy, a celebration for the Lord. In the 5th year, you can eat the fruit. This is so as to increase its produce for you. I am the Lord your God. You must not eat anything with its blood. You must not participate in divination or fortune telling. You must not cut off the hair on your forehead or clip the ends of your beard. Do not cut your bodies for the dead, nor put marks on yourselves. I am the Lord. Do not defile your daughter by making her sexually promiscuous, or else the land will become promiscuous and full of shame. You must keep my Sabbaths and treat my sanctuary with respect. I am the Lord. Do not resort to dead spirits or inquire of spirits of divination. You will be made unclean by them. I am the Lord your God. You must rise in the presence of an old person or respect the elderly. You must fear your God. I am the Lord. When immigrants live in your land with you, you must not cheat them. Any immigrant who lives with you must be treated as if they were one of your citizens. You must love them as yourself. Because you were immigrants in the land of Egypt, I am the Lord your God. You must not act unjustly in a legal case involving measures of length, weight, or volume. You must have accurate scales and accurate weights, and accurate ephah, which is the equivalent of 20 quarts, and an accurate hin, which is the equivalent of a liquid gallon. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. You must keep all my rules and all my regulations and do them. I am the Lord. That's Leviticus 19. Do we have time for 24? Let's see. No, I'm not going to risk all. It'll be held over. I'll be right back, guys. Listening to The Corner with E-Dub.